Hey everyone, it's Richard Metal Fan here, bringing you guys an old school album review. And today I'm going to be looking into this band's follow-up album. Like covered their debut album for the 20-year anniversary about a week or two ago, and then we're going to be looking into their second album, and because their new album, their long-awaited third album, comes out next week. And as you can see, well, that's how today we're going to be looking into Touched by the Crimson King by Demons and Wizards, the band's second album released in the year 2005. Now, for those of you, like I said, who aren't familiar with Demons and Wizards, they're a side project consisting of Jon Schaffer of Iced Earth and Hansi Kirch of Blind Guardian. They formed in 1997, when sort of like the two bands were touring together, and the name itself is sort of like a perfect depiction of the band musical style, which is an element of darkness and an element of magic, which sort of like describes sort of like the two guys, with John bringing sort of like his thrash sounding riffs, almost demon like, and the wizard being Hansi, sort of like bringing his light-hearted vocals. And some people might, when you first hear it, might not think of it to complement each other, but with the band, the previous album before this, the self-titled, it pretty much blends perfectly, and I pretty much loved it. And that was pretty much when I first heard of the band about a year or two ago. And then I've checked out that album, and of course this album, the band's second album, is sort of like, lyrically from what I've heard, this album is sort of like based off of the Dark Tower book series by Stephen King, which is consisting of 7 books. And I haven't really read the book series, but from what I've heard, like, not every song on this album sort of like ties directly to the Dark Towers, but the ideas of all the songs come from the book series. But however, certain parts of this album will not make sense unless you have read the books, so it's very difficult to listen to if you're not familiar with the series. But as overall, well, I think this is a good album. So yeah, without further ado, let's dive into this album track by track. And as you can see, here's my original copy, signed by Jon Schaffer and Hansi Kirch from when I saw them at Prog Power. But yeah, let's just dive into this. Now, starting things off is the song Crimson King, which this is the song and the character in the Dark Tower. This is a very well done song. It starts off the album with some very beautiful guitar work from John, underlaid with sort of like a Gregorian chant, which is a common thing that was used in some Iced Earth songs. And it pretty much melts together and sort of like leads the chorus, which includes the line, and as the album is named after, Touched by the Crimson King. Overall, this is an awesome opening track and is one of my personal favorite songs off this album. Yep. Moving on to Beneath the Waves, and this song itself is based off of Ahab's quest to kill Moby Dick. Thus, the sort of like the underlying feeling of the song is that of revenge. And this is a great song, but sort of like is lacking in delivery. It's rather slow paced, but there isn't any memorable parts into it. But that's just my opinion. Anyway, Terror Train, which is a song only readers of the Dark Tower books 3 and 4 will understand. And then this is pretty much about the Blaine the Mono, and right from the first second you are overwhelmed sort of like the wicked guitar thrashes and crazy double bass drums, and the song remains sort of like this way throughout the whole track and results in like a fast, hard-hitting tune that is very fun to listen to. Next song on the album is called Seize the Day, and this is personally my least favorite of this album, and this song is a ballad of sorts with acoustic sounding guitars and soft vocals. I mean, the only heavy thing about this song is just the chorus, which is the best part of the song. But yeah. Moving on to The Gunslinger, which is pretty much, in my opinion, my personal favorite song on this album. Again, this is one of those songs that only the fans of the Dark Tower series will understand, using sort of like the terminology such as Kamala and Ka, which will confuse you for those of you who have not read the series. And this song starts off very slowly at first, but it seems like a very dull track. Then pretty much out of nowhere, where the song speeds up massively, and this song and its true colors are shown. And the best thing about this song is just the chorus. It's just very memorable, and which is very patriotic sounding and great sounding, I should say. Anyway, Love's Tragedy Asunder, and this song is loosely based off of the 4th book in the Dark Tower series, which is more of a less of a love story in the series. And this piece is very emotional at the beginning and has a very catchy chorus that seems to grow on you. And this song is very well done and is one of the best pieces on this album. Anyway, moving on to Wicked Witch, which this song is pretty much based off of the Wizard of Oz, sort of like the Wicked Witch of the Witch in particular. which actually for some reason plays a big part in the Dark Tower series, particularly in book 4 from what I've looked up. And this is a very short song that has acoustic all the way through. It has nothing spectacular about it, but is a very emotional piece nonetheless. Anyway, moving on to Dorian, which is, this song is based around like Oscar Wilde's The Picture of Dorian Gray, and this song has a solid intro but is quickly shot down by a slow part. Closer to the end, the song picks up tempo again and has a decent enough finale. Sort of like, but the main problem I think with this song is that it's the longest on this album, clocking in around 6.5 minutes. And so this song sort of like feels like an eternity due to its slowness that makes up the vast majority of the song. That's just me. Anyway, moving on to Down Where I Am. This is a very well-written piece with plenty of acoustic work and beautifully pitched vocals, and this song serves no massive connection to the Dark Tower, but is very loosely described sort of like a character that comes into Dark Tower, as in like an antagonist book in the 7th book. Anyway, moving on to one of the most interesting songs on here, which is Immigrant Song, which is actually a cover song originally done by Led Zeppelin. And most covers are either done by either Iced Earth or Blind Guardian, or very well done, and this is pretty much no exception. And this song is the shortest on this album at the same time of like 2.5 minute songs. Like I said, this song is pretty much enjoyable if you're like a fan of Led Zeppelin. Now, these next 3 songs are only available if you have like the special edition of this album, which is my copy right here. Anyway, but we'll talk about the 4 bonus tracks. The first one being Lunar Lament, which the song starts off with solid drumming followed by heavy affected guitars, and Hansi's vocals are really what makes up for the song because the guitar does nothing special throughout. Then we go into Wicked Witch, which is a slow version, and this version is not very different from the original except for the fact that, as pretty much the name implies, is it's slower, and the pitch of this song is also dropped by a note or two, which makes it much more deeper and heavier, or even darker, I should say. Anyway, Spatial Architects, I probably butchered that, and this song starts off with a very minor sounding guitar piece that sets the song off very well, and there's no like random tempo changes or like fancy guitar tricks in this one. It's just straight up distortion, heavy bass and drums, and vocals that pretty much suit the mood very well. And then moving on to an edited version of Beneath the Waves, and this version is exactly the same as the original except for one key change. The slow part at the end of the song is cut out, and this is the version they use on the radios, but I still pretty much feel like that my thoughts on that song is pretty much the same as the original. Now, in conclusion, this Touched by the Crimson King is a great album, and who knows that after this album they would not release anything for 15 years. So yeah, if I were to get this album a score, I'm going to get Touched by the Crimson King by Demons and Wizards a solid 9 out of 10. So yep, that's my review of the album, guys. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about it, and I'll see you all in the next video, which will probably be the review of the new Demons and Wizards. So be on the lookout for that. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, keep it metal.